The Minnesota Vikings need to add interior offensive line help both in the draft and free agency this offseason. And if it's in free agency, the cheaper, the better. Well, sorry. More economical, the better. It's a better way of putting it. And yes, guard. But the Vikings need to have a contingency plan in place if center Garrett Bradbury doesn't step up in year 3. So they need to cover all 3 of those interior offensive line bases, especially if they move Ezra Cleveland to left tackle, if they let go Riley Reef, right? Enter one recently cut Houston Texans center, Nick Martin. So let's talk about him today. A background, yes, Zach Martin's brother, big brother, and Deshaun jokes. He can come to Minnesota if he brings Zach Martin and Deshaun with. Sure, get those out of the way. Nick Martin, 27 years young, turns 28 in April, 6'4", 295, former 3-star recruit from Bishop Chaddard High School in Indianapolis, followed big brother Notre Dame, and then became a damn good player in his own right. A 2-year starter, team captain for the Irish, 88.8 PFF grade in 2015, only 5 pressures and 0 sacks allowed that season. Combine, solid speed, agility, drawbacks are his size, length, and strength. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound like anyone we know? He's like a less freakier Garrett Bradbury. 2016 ended up being a second-round pick, number 50 overall by the Texans. Ended up missing his rookie season due to an ankle injury, but ended up being a 4-year starter for the Texans at the pivot. Even racked up a 3-year, $33 million extension during the season in 2019. Now, Nick Caserio, new general manager for the Texans, might be moving towards more of a power-based scheme, a big, ugly offensive lineman. So you don't really have much use for a 295-pound center. May as well save some cap space as you look to rebuild this team. Now, people are going to hate on Nick Martin just by looking at his PFF grade overall. 56.1 is not great. It's even lower than Garrett Bradbury's 61.4. Nick Martin was 27th out of qualifying centers last year, but it was mainly due to the Texans' horrible running game. And his 74.0 PFF pass blocking grade was 6th best in the league. So he's basically like a yin and yang inverse of Bradbury, where he's great as a pass blocker, meh in the run game, but also you could extrapolate that down to the Houston Texans running backs last year. But where Bradbury, great in the running game, yeah, in the pass blocking game. Like, if we could find a way to combine both of these guys, or if the Vikings can play with 12 men on the field, or just swap them out, rotation, running downs, Bradbury, passing downs, Martin. I wonder if defenses will catch on to that, but it would be perfect. And Martin also had his highest graded game of the season against the Vikings. So, hey, dude who played well against us scouting. And for comparison with Martin and Bradbury, Martin only allowed 79 pressures on 2,767 pass blocking reps for his career, a 2.8% pressure rate. Bradbury allowed 58 on 1,208, which is a 4.8% rate. So nearly 2% of the time extra, one extra snap out of 50. Bradbury's letting some heat where Martin is not. And we threw in Jason Kelsey, who's the OG of the underside center world, career 3.04% pressure rate. So Martin is better. Wow. And since he was cut and doesn't have an expiring contract, he can sign today before free agency starts. And I think that might be smart of him, because I don't think that he's going to get paid like he did from the Texans, 3 years, $33 million. I don't think he's going to come anywhere near that, and because the stank from the 2020 Texans failure might just be lingering on him. So I think his best course of action might be to sign a 1-year prove-it deal somewhere, rehab his career, and then get paid big in free agency in 2022. But I think they still will get $5 to $6 million per year, a competent starter. But again, it's going to be scheme specific. I think that a team that runs a lot of outside zone is going to make a lot more sense than a team that runs a lot of power. I think that's going to take half the teams off the table. And everyone's like, he's going to go to Dallas and sign with the Cowboys and play with his brother. I mean, people who just assume that, or like, oh, J.J. Watt's going to go to Pittsburgh and play with his brothers, clearly never had siblings before. I mean, sometimes the town is not big enough for the both of you, but I digress there. But you can sell Martin. Hey, come here to Minnesota, play left guard just like you did at Notre Dame in 2014 at extremely high level. Bradbury's at center, sure, but he's on an extremely short leash, extremely thin ice, and lend your veteran leadership to this offensive line. And guess what? If Bradbury falters, you're our man in the middle. You're going to be our pivot, and then we'll pay you accordingly in 2022. Because Nick Martin is a damn good football player, and the Vikings have a chance to scoop up a solid scheme-fit player at a discounted rate. Do it. Get it done right now. Your thoughts. Vikings, Nick Martin. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Must support that work. Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.